First the Japanese thing, and now this?
I don't know, man.
You're getting canceled. Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Konnichiwa,
Whoa.
baby.
My God, there's going to be two of us who coming in fucking speaking Japanese in an episode.
I mean, easy. I already speak more Japanese than you do.
Fucking
Just because I put any effort at all into lessons.
fucking Japanese nuts.
Nice. Never mind. You win.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry,
I'm the
sir.
fucking alpha.
Oh, my God.
Beauty.
The indignant look from my wife. The idea that either of us could ever be an alpha. I just watched it wash over her like, you
I mean,
fucking...
I don't know. I am the big hitter.
It's so fucked that she said that about you.
I may be not alpha now, but I mean, last summer.
So fucked. And here's me, Mr. Imagination.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now come up with a good comeback.
Yeah, but you suck.
Oh, I'll get some aloe vera for that burn.
Fuck, that was good. Damn it, he's got one for everything. Shit.
He is the big hitter.
Fuck, I'm sorry. I tried to do it. I couldn't do it.
Speaking of a big hitter, have you seen the Nathan Fillion dressed up as?
As Guy Gardner?
Yeah.
I've seen all of like the set photos.
How
the
are you
show.
feeling? Because some people are unenthused.
What do you fucking want? You fucking like who? It's not exactly the way I want it. It's like don't see the fucking. I'm so sick of all of this shit. It's like just like what does a guy have to do to earn your trust when making?
What does a
movie?
Guy Gardner have to
Well,
do?
no, but I'm saying like James Gunn has made 4 great superhero movies. What does he have to fucking do for you to just back off and trust him?
True.
4 great superhero movies and a great TV show.
Yeah.
Like, what do you fucking want?
It's true.
I don't like his jacket. Like, I'm like, fine. Like, fuck off then. Like, it's just like, it's way too early to tell. It's very obvious that the Justice League looks like they're working for like Max Lord. It's like a Justice League International kind of version of the league because they're like, all their suits have the same symbol in them. Like, they're clearly meant to look like they're designed and made by the same guy. Like, there's obviously a reason for it.
Sure.
I don't know. Guy Gardner's costume's not that good to begin with. Like,
I mean, truly.
I don't mind it. And also, like, the number one criticism that I saw was, like, there's not a lot of green in this Green Lantern costume. And they're right. But also, I implore you to look at Kyle Rayner.
Fair.
It's like, we've never needed this. Like, I feel like people just like being upset about things. Like, people are shitting on the Hot Girl one. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. Like, it's certainly not at this point where it's just like a blurry photo from far away while they're on set. You know what I mean? Like, I think Mr. Terrific looks good. The super suit looks good. What I've seen of Lois Lane looks good. I'm excited for this movie. I can't be told otherwise at this point. Again, like, I've finally seen Guardians 3, so like all 3 of those and fucking the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are great. I don't know how many home runs this guy can hit before you just like when he goes up to bat, you go like he's gonna strike out. Like what? Like just.
I know you don't really care about animals, but how fucking wrecked were you by all the animals coming together in Guardians 3?
Listen,
because I know you like when people come together for a common cause.
That movie destroyed me. I was not ready for it. Even just like
the little otter, fuck
their fucking names, the Teefs.
Oh yeah.
I was like, no, don't call them Teefs. Like I was watching the movie, be like, don't do this. Like,
no, I know what's gonna happen.
Don't make the Spider Rabbit's name Floor.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yes.
These cute motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That movie ruined me.
Do you want to make any sweeping statements about how great this movie is going to be so that you can do another?
Superman?
Yeah. so you can do another.
I know my track record's not great. Listen, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I think that's fine. And again, like if you look at this and you go like, I don't like the look of these costumes.
Good.
You're allowed to think that,
fine.
and that's fine. I think the thing I'm just like so fucking done with is everyone thinking they know how to make a movie,
Fair.
or how to interpret a thing,
Yeah.
or what anything is going to mean until they see a trailer at least.
Sure.
Like, it's like, you're not fucking wizards. You don't know shit. Just wait, and you'll either like it or you won't, and that's fine. But like, just if you're just waiting to hate a thing, then like, find a new thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would rather just be excited for it and then a little let down if it's not good than spend all my time hating a thing and then being like, and see, I was right to hate it.
Fair.
Like, that's the fucking shitty way to be,
Unless it's Cats.
Cats is the worst musical. I hate it. Yeah. Don't. You know what? I take it back.
Spend all of your time to hate the things you
Hate a thing, whether you've seen it or not, and continue hating it. You're right.
And that was the news section. And each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world
Before the end of the intro.
of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Man, the show's format's getting more unhinged every time.
It's not as bad as that episode where I did everything backwards.
Oh, the Bizarro episode?
Yeah, that really fucked you up.
That messed me up. It messed me up less than the Marvel episode.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you actually fucking won that one.
Although
I hated
kind of,
it.
sort of
Fuck
figured
you. This week we're talking about Bezos, baby.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. That's the one I meant.
Yep, I figured. That's what all the questions are about.
Yeah.
Why does my Prime account not work when I'm...
What's my password?
Yeah.
All the questions.
How do I make a
When
return?
is Rings of Power Season 2?
Coming soon. I think.
It is soon, yeah.
Yeah. It's sure.
I mean, even for me, I'm kind of like,
Yeah, this... I mean, that's fucking saying something. A guy who loves the Silmarillion is like, I don't...
I mean, listen, I want people to understand. I will watch it.
Because it's more.
Because it's more. But I'm kind of like, we could have done a better job of this.
Well, it's also...
And I didn't hate on the first season the way people hated on it. I just think... in the interest of stretching it out, they just like, we could have just...
But also...
Why did we only make a couple of rigs last season? Now we got to make more rigs this year.
But also, they did condense some things in the wrong timelines.
Yeah, totally. But like, shit's gonna happen. Like, whatever. But also, yeah, I don't know. I really just want the Silmarillion. And the fact that they could only use basically the appendices of
It's
Return
like, then
of the
just don't
Kings,
do
I
it.
was like,
just don't do it.
yeah. What I really wanted was like the shit that we got in like the first fucking episode of Rings of Power, which is like, here's the War of Wrath, here's the like, and I was like, well, I would watch that shit.
I hope that that Jeff Bezos' kid is like ashamed, because there was the whole thing where his kid was like, if you're gonna do this, don't fuck it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because his kid was like a huge fan. He was like, okay, do it, just don't fuck it up.
Right.
It's like everything else Bezos does, he's fine with. But this was one step too far.
I mean, that's, yeah. Their stock plummeted.
Yeah. You can underpay people and like basically have slave wages.
I love that people got to piss in a bottle because they don't get bathroom breaks.
But if you
so
fuck
help
up,
me God, if you fuck up Lord of the Rings. Anyway,
you can appreciate that. You stand by that.
unequivocally.
But this week we're talking about Amazon Ians.
The Amazonians.
No, Amazonians.
Amazonians?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. And the Amazonians.
This is good.
Does that feels good?
Yeah.
Themyscirans.
God, how long is this episode? Fuck.
You know that thing where you do dishes poorly so you don't have to do them anymore?
What?
Or things that other people do?
What do you mean? You do the dishes poorly?
You know when there's like a task you don't want to do at home, and so you do it poorly, and then your partner doesn't ask you to do it anymore?
No.
Well, sure you do.
No, you're saying it like you do it intentionally. I just do a thing poorly. It's not the same.
That's why I sleep on the couch most nights.
That's cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
But Amazonians.
Yeah, we're talking about Themyscira. We're talking about the Amazonians.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions.
Highway to the Amazonians. Yeah.
I hate that it's making my wife.
And that make us laugh more. It's good.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Get to the questions.
Oh, okay. First question comes from Facebook.
Go to the face of the book. Go to the Facebook.
From Gary Anchetta. Why are you taking your pants off? What the fuck am I part of right now?
I'm sitting weird, and my belt was digging into my stomach, so I just
Just sitting in the fucking cuck chairs. Me and your wife are having a moment, and you're taking your pants
You
off.
two are having a good time. I'm taking my belt off.
What's the problem? I won't get involved. I'll just be here with my pants undone. Oh my god, now he's taking his belt off. He's trying to do it the sexy way, but he realizes he can't just rip it off. Don't do it because you're gonna hurt your skin. Oh my god, this looks so uncomfortable. You're gonna pull something. Just take it off normal. Also, why are you taking off your belt? No, don't do this.
All right, let's do this episode.
We wait like 50 more episodes. Jesus Christ. All right. Gary,
I'm more comfortable. Was that such a crime?
with the belt around your neck?
No. Yeah.
Now I'm more comfortable.
Sweet
relief. This is a weird question. Can't be weirder than what just happened.
Okay.
But why kangaroos? I mean, why?
Short version?
Because it's an island like Australia?
Short version is no idea.
Okay.
Secondly,
maybe they aren't kangaroos. Maybe it's a kangaroos.
That's fucking good. I'm starting to get mad.
That she laughs at my jokes.
Not mine, because mine are fucking good.
Yeah. You don't like kangaroos?
I do like it, but it makes me mad. Fuck. Shit. No, like I think the big it's not like it makes sense. Like,
sure,
Themyscira is not Australia, but I do think it's that, like,
blimey,
we want them to have like a thing that's like not just normal, like horses. Camels are too geographically specific.
Sure.
I mean, I guess kangaroos are too, but I think
like
the thing with the kangaroo is that they look so weird that it becomes like a little more fantastical to do the kangaroo thing. I think when Jumpa first appeared, Jumpa wasn't necessarily like an Amazonian
Wish
thing.
you would step out from my ledge, my friend.
Yeah, Jumpa, of course. Yeah. Although I prefer the song with a hard R. Jumper.
Yeah.
Jumper.
You always prefer when there's a hard R, yeah.
Step out from that ledge, my friend.
Jesus.
Yeah, but no, but I think when Jumpa first showed up in the comics, it wasn't necessarily like an Amazonian thing. It was just like a Wonder Woman thing. And then retcons and that were trying to take like the weirder things from the Silver Age and make them part of Wonder Woman's history. I think maybe made the kangaroos like an Amazonian thing sometimes, where it's like, yeah, a bunch of us have these, or like whatever. Like, yeah, they live on Paradise Island. But I think that's more a product of like retconning a silly Silver Age thing into being Amazonian. But yeah, I don't think there's like a good reason for it. There's no like, yeah, the Amazons conquered Australia. And like there's no shit like that. It's just like they have kangaroos.
Sure. Do you know camels aren't originally from like Africa?
Are they from like Asia?
They're from North America.
What?
During and when like the Continental Divide happened.
They went the other way?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just like me.
What?
All right. Next question comes from Braden Ketty, who asks, What are your thoughts on the controversial event Amazon's attack and batshit insane Hippolyta?
Amazon's attack is a story where
It's like the worst fucking book ever.
it's. I mean, the short version is it's a story in which the Amazons go to war.
Yeah.
With man's
The world, yeah.
which is like it does feel sort of antithetical. Like it's the Amazons are supposed to be different from Atlantis. You know, when the Atlanteans go to war, you go like, well, yeah, but they hate us, and like
Because they ain't us.
Sure, like the Amazonians look down on man's world, right? Like there's a reason they don't want to come here. There's a reason they don't want men on their island.
But aren't they supposed to technically be like training to like help?
I mean, sometimes they talk about their mission
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. But like, if the history of the Amazons though is that they're created as a separate kind of race by Artemis, the Greek god, and given life or whatever. And they're supposed to help lead women and stuff like that and be this kind of different immortal warrior race. And then Hercules and a bunch of fucking men try to enslave them.
Talk about an Artemis.
Listen, we gotta rein this in.
No.
So they were part of our world,
Yeah.
and then were wronged deeply, and then sort of removed from it and put it onto Paradise Island and protected and stuff like that. My problem with Amazon's attack is that if you go with the idea of like Diana's main lessons, like, yeah, fine, she's a warrior, but she's a warrior for peace.
Sure.
She believes in peace, in compassion, in seeing the best in people, in hope, in truth, in stuff like that. Going to war is not what that is. And to have the Amazons go to war with just man's world, not like Dark Side or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, so now you're doing the bidding of Ares, like famed Wonder Woman villain.
Yeah.
It just puts them on the wrong side of the thing. I just don't like it.
Fair.
But I think I also think that might be slightly the point of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that it's 100% not the point of that story, but I also don't know that it's like the best executed. I think there's probably a more interesting, better story where you could incite that out of the Amazons.
Death by Snoo Snoo. That's the best execution.
We gotta fucking no. See, this is the problem. You're such a fucking junkie. You got a taste of someone getting a laugh, and now you're like everything.
Yeah. It's all a joke, much like this
Time
podcast.
for me to eat into the mic.
You're eating ice cream, a thing that doesn't actually require sound.
Way I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All of it doesn't require sound. But somehow you make a fucking meal out of it. Yeah. It's still not as bad as the fucking time you showed up with like the loudest possible foods.
Like fucking trail mix.
Trail mix, like
Pretzels.
fucking
I did bring a bunch of fucking buns.
loose buns.
Loose.
No, nothing to put in them or on them.
A 6-pound bag of raisins.
Yeah, literally a psychopath move. Anyways, we are leaving Facebook and heading over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them. Ah.
Is this good? You fucking misophonies.
Oh, me so phony.
So phony.
But the food you chew make me so phony.
Yeah, welcome. It's fun. And yet fucking nothing.
Furious.
First question from Instagram comes from Doug.
Nothing for me so phony. I'm so fucking mad.
Look, you don't get her the way I do.
Or
Doug
she-
Thune
or
asks.
She doesn't get me the way you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't like that food you chew makes me so phony. So quiet.
I love it. Oh, fucking delicious. can you please talk about the 80th anniversary episode of Wonder Woman on Teen Titans Go, which had the competition, which clearly was Marvel?
I don't remember that episode, actually.
Next question.
And it's possible because it came out like after, like it's not on Netflix in Canada right like anymore. Like they've taken
really?
it off, and so it's possible that's like one that came out before I got to watch it. I've seen quite a bit of Teen Titans Go, but that one's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, where are they at right now? Are they still trying to make fucking the DC Universe work, or?
Oh God, we're so far past that. It's on Max though, and I think in Canada a lot of it's on Crave.
Yeah,
and that's why it's not on Netflix.
Oh,
but
sure.
I only get Crave every once in a while.
Yeah,
That's not like in my regular rotation. So unfortunately, I don't think I've actually seen that episode of Teen Titans Go. Wonder Woman doesn't make a ton of appearances in general on Teen Titans Go because I mean, a lot of the big heroes don't make a ton of appearances in general on that.
Yeah.
She is in Teen Titans Go to the Movies
Love
briefly, which is very cute and fun. I think Wonder Girl eventually does show up on Teen Titans Go, but even that takes like several seasons to happen. There's not a lot of Amazons on that show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Dem Jinkies, who asks, how do you prefer your Themyscira? Do you like them more technologically advanced? Oh, you can't make fun of me because your mouth's full. Technologically advanced than the rest of the world? Or do you like them better when they're more magical and focused more on training and fighting?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. There's sort of like two versions of Themyscira that you might see in the comics. There's a version where it's like, yeah, they've been isolated for thousands of years and they've progressed in that time. Now, they're always magic-y. Even the Purple Ray, like their technology is still like magic technology.
Sure, yeah.
Which, like, technically the Atlantean stuff, a lot of it is too, but Atlantis tends to be more sci-fi, and Themyscira tends to be more fantasy. The other version of Themyscira, though, that you get is that when you were isolated and put on this magic island, you also decided, great, stop there. Swords, sandals.
Yeah, it's
we
very
gotta go to the fucking well.
Greek-Roman-y kind of
and
like.
you just stay that way and you don't change for 3,000 years or whatever. So there's like the two versions. Like, I do think in general, I like the idea of a society that has kept growing and progressing, like, and in some versions, like the Wonder Woman's plane is like Amazonian tech. At one point it was alien tech, but like that and the Purple Ray, like stuff like that I enjoy. But I think it's like objectively, like it worked in the Wonder Woman movie to just make them sword and sandals kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because then you have this like extra culture shock. Like what was interesting about that, I mean, and maybe it makes zero sense. Is that she still knew about the outside world, right?
Sure.
She had read books and stuff. Like they know about man's world. They just choose to live this way. It's almost like a kind of like an Amish kind of thing where it's like, no, this is our way.
Sure, yeah.
And we believe that this is the path to peace and a better world and blah, blah, blah. And maybe there's an argument to be made that technologically advancing is like inherently like dystopian, I don't know that I believe that, but like you could make that argument artistically if you were going with the sword and sandals version. I think ultimately Themyscira has to keep a little bit of that. I think it starts not feeling like Themyscira if they all start wearing like shoulder pads and zippers and that. Like,
sure,
even if they have technology, they got to wear like robes and
I do prefer that
laurel wreaths and shit. Like it still has to like feel Greek.
Yeah,
but
I
like
agree.
old Greek. It can't just be like a bunch of like fat guys chilling on Mykonos. Like,
sure.
Like there's. I don't know. I don't know if I think that that's a prison for it or not, but I think it has to feel more that way. Where Atlantis starts in swords and stuff like that, and then when it sinks, then it's like, no, like Atlantis has like trains and like I think the movie does a good job of showing it's like, yeah, like they're one with
technically
sea life
still
and
like
that,
a monarchy,
but they clearly have like highways, and
Yeah.
like commerce, and like like whereas we depict Themyscira as so much more of a like kind of like
philosopher type.
yeah,
like,
yeah. And so I guess what I'm saying is somewhere in between. I like them having some technology and like things that are advanced, but I do like it being a little bit more like magical, and I do like kind of keeping the aesthetic of something old with them. I don't really need that out of Atlantis. I need it, I think, for Themyscira.
I would agree.
And I don't know if that's a problem or not, but that's
can't
just
see
like
why
how
it
I
would be.
feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because you want the women to be like, more traditional, but
I mean, how dare you try to turn this
classic
over.
trad wife Reed.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah. Dinner better be on the table when he gets home.
Yeah, that's a thing I would say. For
I mean,
sure.
yes, but not because of that reason. He's got food in his mouth. He can't defend himself.
Motherfucker.
Next question comes from, oh shit, ABC. Easiest 1, 2, 3. As easy as do, re, mi.
Brooks.
ABC.
Brooks.
1, 2, 3, baby, you and me. Brooks. 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 Brooks.
It wouldn't be so bad if there weren't-
Brooks.
I had to chew all the score
Brooks.
bits.
Score.
Score. What does Brooks ask?
ABC Brooks asks, best queen, Hippolyta, Nubia, Faruka, someone else?
Only one queen can stay. The other will have to sashay away.
Nice.
So, let's talk about some of the queens of the Amazons.
Yeah.
So, Hippolyta is probably the best known one. Wonder Woman's mom. She's the one we see in the movie. She's sort of like your standard. Like every time you reboot, you're gonna see Hippolyta there. Like,
Love me some Hippolyta.
yeah, Hippolyta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you're like a pyromaniac that kills horses.
I thought it was a lighter that when you turn it upside down, a hippo takes its clothes off.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nice. So Hippolyta, pretty classic. And in some versions, one of the first Amazons. Because again, the Amazons were like a race created
Yeah.
by the god Artemis and stuff like that. So,
Except for Zeus created Wonder Woman, right?
yes, but Zeus also had to kind of grant life to the Amazons.
Sure.
Long story short, the Amazons are basically the first ones were sort of made of like stolen souls of wronged women,
Oh, okay.
and then were turned into these immortal warrior like demigods essentially. So Hippolyta, classic queen of the Amazons. Nubia is a character introduced in the 70s as like essentially Wonder Woman's sister, Wonder Woman's black sister.
Oh, okay.
She's had some retcons over time, and she's used to like at one point it was literally that Hippolyta had secretly made 2 kids out of clay, literally one out of light clay, one out of dark clay. And
God, is this a Marka Kane situation?
Well, and then at a certain point they were like, maybe we shouldn't, do that. Kind of. So her history's changed a little bit, but essentially she is also an Amazon. Also, like a contemporary of Wonder Woman's, like born around the same time as Wonder
But not her
Woman,
sister?
But not her actual sister,
Oh, I like her as her sister. I prefer old Bia.
as opposed to Nubia.
Yeah.
There was it might have been post-Crisis. They changed her name so that instead of being like literally Nubia, it was like NU''BIA.
Oh, sure.
Like new metal, Nubia.
I fucking love that. But the
she's-
B is backwards.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Nudia. Nice.
She was tasked with guarding Doom's doorway.
Yeah.
So Doom's doorway is on Themyscira. It's the gateway to Tartarus, which the Amazons protect. So on Paradise Island, there is the gateway to hell, essentially, that they protect and keep closed. And Nubia was in charge of that for a long time. She is now the queen of the Amazons on Themyscira, which I actually think is a great role for her. I like Nubia as queen. I think that's cool. Queen Faruka that's named there is Queen of the Bonamigdal Amazons. So we've talked about how there's like different tribes of Amazons. The Bonamigdal leave Themyscira because they don't like the way Hippolyta rules, and they forsake the Olympian gods, and they go and they make basically a city in Egypt, and they sort of get adopted sort of reluctantly by the Egyptian pantheon, and they have a way more militant society. And they they will like make and manufacture arms, and they're gonna bring down man's world if they have they're a way more aggressive version of Amazons.
Are you saying that Farouk is on fire?
We've got to rein this in.
You don't need
But Queen
no water. Let the motherfucker
Queen
burn.
Faruka is one of the queens of was one of the queens of the Bonamigdal. Was sort of the queen after Atalanta, and then was sort of co-ruler. But now the Bonamigdal are sort of like merged again with the Themysciran Amazons, so they're sort of one society again. But Queen Faruka is still in and around there. But short version, which was my favorite queen? I'm gonna say Nubia.
Really?
I like Nubia. I mean, Hippolyta is fine, but it's kind of also like we've seen it.
Sure. Yeah.
I kind of like Hippolyta has this new role now where she's actually like she has ascended to the Olympian pantheon.
Oh wow.
So now she's the god of Amazons.
Holy shit.
And I kind of like that. I think that's interesting. But I like Nubia in like a leadership role, and especially in this like a new version of Themyscira that has the Bonamigdal there too and stuff. I like her. Yeah.
Nice. Next question from Tristan Basile, who asks, for a regretful Wonder Woman naysayer, what are some good books to start thinking the Amazons are cool / interesting?
I don't feel like I'm under arrest. Not even a little bit.
What?
Your mistake was thinking you're in America.
Huh?
This is Tristan Basile.
Oh. Instead of Brazil.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's Fast Five.
Nice. It's a
fucking nothing. Still,
it's a
crazy.
It's a great joke.
It was. Listen, you motherfuckers. How did we get here?
I mean, I think it's a pretty clear line.
Hurtful,
Do you want to unpack it here?
Hurtful but true. Some good stories to see the Amazons. I would read Nubia and the Amazons. Just mentioning this character that I like and this sort of new role for her. I would read that. It's a 6-issue series. I think that's a really interesting one. I would read Wonder Woman Earth 1.
Sure.
By Morrison and Paquette.
How could it not be good?
That's an interesting one that it's a particular take, but you do see a more technologically advanced, like Amazonia.
Is it still like a Greeky kind of thing?
Still is, but Morrison does play with that idea.
Sure.
Of
Morrison?
More like the Golden Age Amazons, which were kind of technologically advanced.
Yeah.
And stuff. So that's a really interesting one. If you want to explore a lot more of the Greek pantheon stuff, but it's maybe let's just with the understanding that it's a very specific take on Wonder Woman and not necessarily the most global take. New 52 Wonder Woman.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the 60s one.
No, God, no. New 52 Wonder Woman is like very specifically about the Olympians.
Okay.
In a way that doesn't always jive with how we view Wonder Woman, but is interesting in its own right.
A few of our past guests have had cool Amazon stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I mean Steve Orlando has definitely written at least short runs of Wonder Woman.
And didn't what's his name? Artist fella from England?
Oh, Liam Sharp.
Yeah.
So that one is, I mean, that one you don't really get a sense of the Amazons in that one, but Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman is a very interesting, cool book. But it's not great for like seeing Themyscira and the Amazons, but a great book of Wonder Woman.
Did Gail Simone do any Wonder Woman?
Yes, Gail Simone has worked on Wonder Woman. That stuff's pretty good. I would, but like Greg Rucka, like Rebirth Wonder Woman.
Rucka's famous, right?
Rucka
like for
is
his...
sort of like one of the big ones
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Wonder
yeah,
Woman. And the Rebirth era of that is really good, but also Rucka did a run of Wonder Woman pre New 52.
Sure.
That's also very good. Yeah, those are some good places to start.
Nice.
The Perez Wonder Woman from the 80s. That's sort of like basically established the like very Greek, very whatever Wonder Woman we have now.
Yeah.
That was pretty loosey-goosey up to that Perez series in the 80s. So,
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Now we are going to leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
First question comes from Nobody89, who asks, how well would an Amazonian do against a member of the League of Assassins or a Court of Owls Talon?
I mean, you want to say an Amazonian would beat their asses. But the comic evidence is that there are a few exceptionally talented Amazonian
But they don't
warriors.
like all have powers, right? Like that's more of like a Wonder Woman thing, right?
So there's that. But also, they're great soldiers.
Sure.
And they are great fighters, but that's not quite the same skill set.
Sure.
Like the League of Assassins doesn't mean you have to go up and fight them hand to hand. Like
sure, yeah. You can use any means necessary.
Amazons can and do get like killed and taken out all the time. Even as recent as like the Birds of Prey run that's in right now. The Birds of Prey break onto Themyscira and fight a bunch of Amazons and do okay.
Wow.
Like
okay.
it's still tough. They're challenging opponents.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
sure. Big Barda's there. It's like, but so is Cassandra Cain. An exceptional fighter, but still just a person.
Sure.
Black
Yeah,
Canary, a great fighter, has the Canary Cry, but it's still more or less just a person. And like these people can fight Amazons more or less to a standstill, but when Wonder Woman shows up, they go, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a difference.
She's, yeah.
There's obviously other good fighters among the Amazons. Philippus is like the general of the Amazonian army. Antiope, who you see in the movies, it's her aunt. Hippolyta, great fighter. You know, like, but they're not all fighters. There's also like philosophers, poets,
Sure,
healers.
yeah.
They have a whole society. Like, yes, they all learn how to fight. It's part of it, but like it's not the same. You know what I mean? So, as much as you want to say the Amazons would beat their asses, the Talons are undead ninja assassins.
Sure.
I think a Talon could take out a few Amazons.
Yeah.
One Talon is not going to wipe them out,
But,
but it could do some damage, you know?
so a Court of Owls Talon, no.
Not like against the Amazons, but if you set a Talon loose on
But, what
Themyscira,
about
will they get beaten by the first Amazon they run into? I'd say no.
So just like a general Amazonian and a Talon takes it.
Yeah?
Okay. What about League of Assassins?
Yeah, that one I may give to the Amazonians, but again, I think it's closer than you want it to be.
It depends on the day, depends on the person.
You want the
Yeah,
Amazonians to be like perfect, but I don't think that's the case, and I think there's lots of comic evidence of like when other things are introduced to Themyscira, you could get by a few of them, and a lot, you know, Amazons die in battle, and like we see it, like when they've fought, is it Imperiax or Darkseid, like. Amazons die when they fight Darkseid. Amazons die when they fight Imperiax. Amazons die when it's like like we see it happen. So I think there's enough comic evidence that it's like they're not just like impervious soldiers that can do no wrong. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Red hair, hand-me-down robes. You must be asking a question. From Draco Folly.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is Themyscira best used as an unseen ideal civilization so the reader can project anything they want on it? Or is it better when we actually see it and get to know all of its flaws?
Yeah. I mean, I get both sides of that. I mean, part of the thing in the Rebirth era, the Rucka run, was sort of undoing a New 52 era thing, which was like going to Themyscira all the fucking time.
Yeah.
There was a sort of retcon, and it's like, you've actually never been back. Those were like false memories or whatever. You've actually, like, when you left, you have not been back. I think since then, she has been back again, you know? Like,
Sure.
I think there is a point of interest in Wonder Woman not just constantly being on Themyscira. However, I think we're actually at the point now in the comics where even though Themyscira is still largely hidden, it is not impossible to find. You know, the Birds of Prey just found it and broke onto it, and like, you know, like, you can get to Themyscira. Wonder Woman does go back and forth there. I think Themyscira is, while not like necessarily a full part of the world, they're more a part of it. Like, they're not myth anymore.
Yeah.
And I think even though they don't maybe engage politically quite as much as Atlantis does, we have moved that way. In that Nubia series, we talk about like having an embassy and stuff. Like, they're part of the world now. So I actually don't think we can go back to them being an unseen myth utopia. I think now the challenge for the Amazons is like, can we bring our utopia to the world?
It's the Wakanda thing, right?
Can we make life better for women in man's world? Like, yeah, exactly. The Wakanda question, you know, like I think that's got there's lots of interesting story to be mined there. I don't think we have to go back to them hiding. I think it's more interesting this way.
I agree.
It's more challenging. It's a harder thing to write, but I think it's more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Next question from Vihurin, who asks, the use and limits of the Amazonia purple healing ray. Why don't we see it more? Batman's broken back. Would you like to see it used more, etc.?
For a while, I think Diana had a version of the purple ray on the Watchtower, and sometimes that comes up, or it has come up.
All along the Watchtower?
No, probably just in one spot.
Oh, okay.
Purple ray all through my mind.
Nice.
2 different song references.
Yeah, it's close. Whatever, it's fine.
These kids don't know. So I think, yeah, I mean that we have seen it in Man's World. I mean, the real reason that you don't see Batman using it when he breaks his back is that happens in a Batman book, and that sucks.
Sure.
If it was in Justice League, you might have seen it.
Sure.
But his back got broken in the Batman book. Diana's not going to show up with the purple ray and be like, you're back in the game, Bruce, because that's like not the point of that Nightfall story.
Purple ray, purple ray.
There you go. That's nice. Yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they talk about it like you needing like a certain number of hours or whatever. Like, it's not like on Supernatural when like an angel touches you and you're fully healed. Like, the purple ray like takes time. It's still magic in that, but it's like,
that's where he touches you.
But it's just like, it just requires time. Like, if you broke your arm, they might say like you need 2 hours in the purple ray or whatever. Like, it's magic, but it's still like inconvenient. Is, I guess, where I'm going with it. You know,
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like it too, to be honest. I like a thing where it's like, yeah, we can heal you, but like, do you have 10 hours?
Sure.
And you're like, ugh.
Do you want to see it more?
I mean, I guess a little, just in that I don't want writers to forget about it. Like,
sure,
it's part of Wonder Woman's myth, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not like flipping issue to issue, being like, where the fuck's the purple ray?
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Armpit the Hero.
How dare you?
Who asks, is Atalanta establishing the Amazons of the Amazon still canon to the Yara Flores Amazon tribe?
I think so. So, interestingly enough, we've talked about the Esquecida, which are like the Amazons.
Esquecita.
Which are the Amazons in the Amazon in Brazil. And talking about that as like a new idea, the secret third tribe of Amazons or whatever. But truly, there actually were already Amazons of the Amazon in the 70s.
Okay.
That was an idea already. And in that idea, Atalanta, who was one of the Themyscirans who left and helped co-found the Bana Migdal in Egypt, continues to leave and found new tribes of Amazons. That 70s version, I'm pretty sure those Amazonian Amazons were mortal. They were not immortal. I'm pretty sure. This version of the Esquecida are, I think, immortal, like Amazons. But they did keep Atalanta as like a founding part as like a founding part of that myth. So clearly riffing on the idea from the 70s.
Yeah.
But they did a story in whatever era it was. I think it was the Steve Orlando run,
Oh, okay.
because they brought in Aztec.
Oh.
The second Aztec, who's a female character. But it featured Atalanta in in the 13 Heavens, which is an Aztec thing, fighting Tezcatlipoca and it was tied to Atalanta having come to the New World and established the Esquecida and like was in Central America and all this kind of stuff. So they kept bits from the 70s thing and then made it new again for this like new kind of version or interpretation of the Amazonian Amazons. So it's all connected. You know, that's where Yara Flor, the new Wonder Girl, she's from that tribe of Amazons. But yeah, it is interesting that it's like everything old is new again, right? Like they had this new idea, but they still riffed on this thing from the 70s, and they managed to keep a piece of it intact, which we've talked about in other contexts is a thing we like when creators do.
Totally.
It's like, here's a forgotten thing, and we've made it make sense again, or
Yeah.
we made it relevant again, or whatever. So that's sort of what they did with the Esquecida.
Hotalanta.
Atalanta.
Next question means we are leaving Reddit and head on over to the Docscord.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. Docscord.
I don't like no docs or scores, but you could
Can
score
score
my
me
docs.
docs.
You could doc
You
your
could
scoring
score
on
on
me.
me.
Hey, doc your
Scored
scoring
on me. I'm a Docscord, babe.
But I won't score you. No, I ain't no doc, babe.
Nice.
Bar.
Have you listened to any other Jack Harlow yet?
No, I'm good.
Until the algorithm says so.
I exclusively take direction from the algorithm.
Yeah. Until it presents me with its
And so far, it's just Sabrina Carpenter. So I don't,
Weird.
Yeah, I,
Weird
don't think
the-
I don't think Jack Harlow's gonna make it, man.
weird. The algorithm wants that.
Listen, I don't tell her what to do.
You're just a king.
Consciously.
More, please.
Yeah. Indeed.
This pleases me more ways than one.
Please, 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 man.
Oh, bring me Sabrina Carpenter espresso. First question comes from, oh shit, step into the stump.
Stump Chunkman. Bleh!
That's been a while.
It has
What
been
the
a while.
fuck?
It's good though. It feels right.
Yeah. Whereabouts on Earth is Themyscira to be hidden?
Great question.
Is it near like Greece, like Italy?
I think,
like,
strictly speaking,
Mediterranean?
in the real world,
yeah.
Themyscira is like in Crimea. It's like in the Caspian Sea.
Oh. Is it that big of a
Because
sea that
I
you could
think
have a
it's the-
fucking
like,
place?
The
of
Amazons,
hidden?
I think, are supposed to have been from like Scythia, which is like up that way in the ancient world. In the real world, when they talk about Amazons and stuff like that, I think that's what they're talking about. Theoretically, Themyscira in DC could also be just in the Aegean somewhere, like in among the Greek islands. Somewhere in the Mediterranean, even if you want to go a little bit broader than that. At one point, it was explicitly in the Bermuda Triangle, but that was a very specific one where they remade Paradise Island as like a floating alien technology island.
Sure.
And it was hidden in the Bermuda Triangle. For the most part, it's not there. I
Okay.
think most reasonably, it must be in either the Aegean or the Caspian Sea. It has to be around the ancient world
Yeah.
of Greece. Scythia.
Yeah, it needs to be near
Greece,
the Mediterranean.
Scythia, you know,
yeah.
like somewhere around there. I think is the only thing that makes sense.
Yes.
You know?
I would agree.
But
When was the last time we heard about its location?
I'm sure anytime you found someone that pinned its location down, you can find someone else that pinned it down somewhere else. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I don't think at the DC offices they've got like a set number of coordinates.
Maybe it's like a Lost situation.
Oh, it's purgatory?
No, that's not purgatory. Did you ever even watch it?
No, I gave up. I gave up partway into season 3.
Oh man, they explain it. They do a good job.
I watched that episode where fucking what's his shit in the hatch. You flash
Richard?
back to. No, you flash back to.
Scottish guy?
Yeah,
Sure.
you flash back to him in some stadium
Yeah.
before the island, and I was like, I think I'm done. And I gave up. I stopped.
There's a guy on.
I was so disappointed that it wasn't more interesting.
There's a guy on TikTok that explains it in a way that is so fucking interesting that you would love it.
I
Because
can't,
they do-
I can't go back to Lost.
I know, but
I
the-
gave it its shot when it was on, and it lost me, and I can't go back to it.
Because they talk about like how like the like ancient Egyptians actually like discovered it, and it's this whole like great wheels of like time and life and
Listen,
death.
that
and-
sure sounds like stuff that I would like.
Yeah.
But
I can't.
I can't.
Can't hurt me again.
They lost me once. I can't.
Huh?
I can't do it again. No, I meant it. Yeah.
Next question.
'Kay.
Holy shit! I mean, these must be from like way back,
No, these are just for
New
this one.
questions?
Yeah.
buddy. Next question comes from Dave Rossi.
Hi, Dad.
Whoa.
I mean, Dave.
Oh
No.
Oh man, all the kids are gonna fucking make fun of you.
Damn it.
Dave asks, because of her divine heritage, is she the only Amazon, generally speaking, that can move fast enough to deflect things like bullets? Is she generally considered bulletproof? Or is that just the fucking, like, is she just knocking it off the fucking cuffs?
Her invulnerability is tough to pin down.
Uh,
I would say more or less Wonder Woman is invulnerable to blunt trauma,
dude, you got bullet immunity.
which is such a funny way to say
I
being
love it.
bulletproof.
I love it.
In general, I would say the rule of thumb with Wonder Woman is if the thing hitting her is blunt, she could take it.
Sure.
If the thing hitting her is sharp, it will pierce. So bullets can shoot her.
What if it's kind of small?
You can stab her.
What if it's like small, but it has like way too much give? That it's kind of unimpressive.
Yeah, I'd say you're not even in the conversation, if I'm being honest.
Probably won't be able to penetrate then.
Jesus. I mean, yeah, what about what you said sounded penetrative in any way?
Could you thumb in a blunt object?
What if I spend a bunch of time psyching a bullet up?
Come on, you used to be able to
Like,
do this.
Fucking just once, man. Fuck.
Come on, we need this.
We need this. The bad guy talking
Yeah.
to his gun. Like, we fucking need this, man. No, but in general, I think that's the approach, right? Like if like a random person comes up and hits her with a baseball bat, you're not going to knock Wonder Woman out.
Sure.
But you could stab her, shoot her. Like that's where the bracelet thing
Yeah,
comes in
yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, that's again, as with many things, I think there's also versions of Wonder Woman where she maybe can get shot, but it grazes off her. Like I'm also thinking of like New 52 Aquaman does this thing where like Aquaman gets shot by a bullet and it just kind of like hits him and kind of then grazes. Like he's not fully bulletproof, but he is different than us.
Sure.
And I imagine Wonder Woman's physiology is similar-ish. So like maybe glancing strikes wouldn't go in as deep as they would to like a person or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's sort of amorphous, but that's I think the general logic of the comics. I do think her power is relatively unique to her. Now, are Amazons faster and stronger than humans? Yes. Are Amazons as fast and strong as Wonder Woman? No.
Yeah.
There's like a sort of tiered version of their power. It sort of scales up as they go because Wonder Woman is special, and she also like is imbued with extra power and things like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Next question from Cosmic DM Crunchy,
Okay.
who asks, if Doc got to visit Themyscira, how long before he would be executed for asking Amazonians to crush my head like sparrow egg between thighs?
Here's the thing. I'm a polite boy. I would never. As a guest on Themyscira, I would fucking never.
You wouldn't go digging for clams?
Jesus Christ. So fucking vile. No, as a guest, I'm not that rude.
But
if it's offered,
Death by Snooze do.
yeah, no. I would not. I wouldn't have to be. I wouldn't be fortunate enough to be executed. Let's put it that way.
So you're saying, this isn't saying forcing your head in there. It's just saying, would you ask?
Why would I ask that? That's such a rude thing to ask. That even the idea of that question mortifies me. The idea of being that forward to anyone, let alone the strong, powerful women of Themyscira.
Look, I know I just arrived here on Themyscira, but I don't want to wait the whole trip to ask you if I can.
How dare you invoke that?
If I can, you can crush my head like sparrow.
How dare you invoke that here? You piece of shit. That's fucked of you to do this. The answer is, I'm a polite boy. I would never.
Oh, that's right. But what if your brother got killed?
Then I wouldn't be polite. You gotta listen to the other podcast.
Everything's a crossover. Next question from JK, who asks, what is Nubia's backstory currently? I know in post-crisis she was the guard of Doom's Doorway, but in recent stories she was shown to be from an African village and also walking around in man's world during the 70s.
So some of that is like is that thing of like trying to like retroactively make past stories make sense a little bit.
Sure.
Nubia is an Amazon. I think the idea is that she shares a birthday with Wonder Woman, but they are not sisters. She was the guard. She even in her current continuity, one of her main tasks for a very long time was to be the guardian of Doom's Doorway, which is a highly respected position because, again, it's the gateway to Tartarus. There's like a literal like hole to hell in Paradise Island.
Yeah.
She was the guard of that. She became sort of like the stand-in queen when Hippolyta went and joined the Justice League when Wonder Woman was presumed dead after death metal. Then Hippolyta actually fucking died and ascended to godhood. Nubia became the queen of the new reunited Amazons. So all of that stuff that is mentioned there is part of her backstory. Some of it is referencing stuff from pre-crisis, like her 70s adventures. Some of it is referencing the Doom's Doorway stuff. Some of it is brand new. All of it is true for her. The thing that is different is that she was not made out of clay. She is not Hippolyta's daughter. We've scrapped that entirely. She's not Wonder Woman's sister beyond the like sisterhood of being Amazons.
Traveling pants.
The traveling pants, of course,
Yeah.
is what I mean.
Next question comes from Butt Fart Butt. We already have a fart for somebody. You don't need to do it.
What do you mean?
We have armpit, so you don't need to.
I mean, how dare you?
What are your thoughts on King's Wonder Woman run?
I'm only 9 issues in.
Sure.
But I'm enjoying it so far. This is the run that like they've introduced this new villain called the Sovereign, who's like the secret king of America.
Oh.
That like America never threw off the shackles of monarchy.
Well, yeah, Biden's not our president.
Well, yeah, no, obviously, of course, because the election was stolen.
That's
We
right.
all know
Yeah,
that. No, but I do think it's an interesting idea that like to manifest like the classism and the inherent like the guarding of power in that, and to just make it like, yeah, America still has a king. You
Yeah.
just don't know about it. Every president has a secret oath to the king, and like,
Yeah.
it's like I like that kind of thing, and especially in the context of, because it's like that sort of like really old patriarchal power of like a king, a blah blah blah, going up against like Wonder Woman, and like you have this sort of like misogynist old way of thinking, and then this sort
Yeah.
of like feminist new thing subverting it. Like, what's a bigger threat to a patriarchal system than Wonder Woman? And like, we're being very literal about it in some ways in this
Sure,
King run,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it's interesting. We're also we're in the process, like this whole run is introducing Trinity, like Wonder Woman's daughter. Like the narrative framework of this is that the Sovereign years from now is recounting his, like, him trying to break Wonder Woman to Trinity, which is interesting too. I'm only 9 issues in. I like it. I like the backup stories that are in there too, though, of Trinity, and especially like Trinity on like mischief adventures with John and Damien and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
That's very fun. I'm
Yeah,
really liking that.
totally.
I think that's great.
That sounds great.
But the King run is neat. I mean, the art is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's is it Daniel Samperi? It's I need to see the conclusion of it, because right now it's like all of America has turned on the Amazons. Wonder Woman's like a fugitive. She's been held captive for months and stuff like that. Like, I need to see the end of the arc to see if it like works. But I'm enjoying it issue to issue.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. All right, next question. It shall not pass.
Constipated Gandalf.
That's right. Who asks, if the Amazonians were to have a population crisis, could another Amazon be created out of clay like Diana as long as an Olympian god gives them life?
So here's the thing. The clay thing is special.
Okay.
It's only Diana.
Okay. But could another...
A couple of Amazonians have given birth the old-fashioned way.
Nice.
We've seen that with Mirina, who gave birth to Grail, who's the daughter of Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
She's half Amazonian and half New God.
Did they, like, do it?
Yeah, baby.
Whoa.
We've also...
Do you think it's, like, darker side?
There's also the idea of... Jesus. There's also the idea of, like, Jason,
like a
Wonder
few
Woman's
shades.
brother,
Yeah.
who was actually born and then kind of cast out because
Yeah.
he's a man. But where the original Amazons, like I said, were made from the souls of like wronged women, and they became the initial Amazons. But there's a thing called the Well of Souls, and new Amazons are created from that. The Well of Souls actually opens up it might be in Nubia and the Amazons, and new Amazons spring forth.
Whoa.
They weren't ready for it. They were like, the well never hasn't spit out new Amazons in forever. And a whole bunch of new Amazons are created. There's some really
Yeah, it usually
interesting...
swallows all those souls.
Don't. Not, fuck. I mean, how dare you? You would get executed.
No, I charm my way through.
There's some neat storytelling in there too, because like, for example, one of these kind of newer Amazons, her name is Bia, not new Bia. This is just regular Bia.
Not old Bia?
Original Bia.
Recipe of Bia?
Yeah.
Recipe.
The interesting thing with Bia is that Bia is sort of reborn as an Amazon, but in her previous life was like biologically male.
Oh.
So it's the idea that like her true
Her soul.
soul gets its actual form by being remade as an Amazon.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Which is really neat and cool at that. But where I'm going with this is like every once in a while, sort of cosmically, Amazons are made, but they're not made on purpose. The Amazons don't get together and do like some ritual to summon souls out of the well. Just occasionally, new Amazons will pop up.
Sure.
Doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, some souls are reclaimed and sent back and given the gift of a second life as immortal Amazons.
You eat too much like fast food, and it spits the soul out instead.
Yeah, they got soul reflux in the well.
Yeah. You were eating a lot of pineapple, and I was swallowing all those souls.
How dare you? You're misogynist bullshit. On the Amazon episode.
What do you think I'm talking about?
That's fucked that you talk about. Well, no.
What?
This year we said we wouldn't.
Well, I don't understand what you're even referencing.
You're talking about pineapple cum.
Holy shit.
You better edit that out.
What the fuck,
I
dude?
promised I wouldn't say that word this year.
What is wrong with you? You're sick.
I promised I wouldn't say pineapple this year.
Unless it's upside down, if you know what I mean.
Is that like a real thing?
Yes.
Because that feels made up.
No, it's 1,000% a real thing. Trust me.
But why do we need a secret code? Would it be like I'm having people over. I'm going to turn a pineapple upside down just in case. Like we fucking Masons. Like why do we have to have a secret fucking code?
Well, there is a thing that like on like cruise ships and stuff like that, like so people could just like come in and fucking come in.
What?
Yeah.
Man, there's a whole other world out there.
Look, when you get old, what the fuck else are you gonna do?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
I mean, yeah.
I don't like meeting people.
You don't like the intimacy you have.
I love intimacy. Just
in the right time, in the right place.
Oh, look, I just talked to my wife.
I'm a very intimate person.
I'm the most intimate.
No one's ever
been more intimate.
My wife comes to me, tears in her eyes.
What's the next question?
Next question comes from Rubik's Cuban.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I heard he just bought the Lakers.
Yeah.
Themyscira is...
But he did it by, like, knocking a marble over and then it hit a
nice.
domino.
Wait.
Oh, no, that's Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, I was like, fucking what?
Fuck.
Fucking, what is...
Just read the question.
Fucking Jesus Christ. I thought you were coming with your A game, but this is supposed to be the year.
This is great. It's good. Other than when I said pineapple.
Just 3,
2, 1. What's the next question?
From Rubik's Cuban.
Oh, okay. What do they say?
Themyscira is rooted in Greek culture. If a difference
Don't tell me what it is. Anyway, go on.
3, 2,
1.
Rubik's Cuban asks.
Oh, they sent something in?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure I'm fine about it.
It's a way to reset a thing. Themyscira is rooted in Greek culture. If a different society, be it Egyptian, Mayan, etc., were used as its template, which would you like to see, and do you think it'd have the same impact?
Well, so, like I said, there actually are some different versions.
So fucking get your shit together, Rubik's.
So the Themyscirans are...
Talk about a real Rubik's Cuban.
The Bana Migdal start off as part of that main Amazonian group. And then they break off, and then they get adopted by the Egyptian pantheon. What's interesting about that is the Egyptian pantheon seems to care about them even less than the Greek pantheon cares about the Amazons. And there's a sort of difficult relationship there in terms of them having patron gods and stuff.
Sure.
But to be honest, you don't see a lot of, like, I would say, the culture of ancient Egypt in the Bana Migdal.
Sure.
If anything, they're maybe slightly problematically, they're almost more emblematic of, like, an unrestful Middle East.
Oh.
That they're this, like, kind of militant, like, arming their neighbors kind of force based in Egypt. Like, if anything, they're probably slightly problematic that way as a metaphor. I mean, the Esquecida, they do have different patron gods. Some of them are like Amazonian patron deities. There is some, like, I would say mythologically stretching connections to the, like, Aztec deities and things like that. As well as they do still worship, like, Artemis and, like, some of the Greek gods. The Esquecida, like, are culturally South American, like, and indigenous and, like, things like you can tell there. The Bana Migdal are just like Amazons that live somewhere different. The Esquisita, like culturally, are a much different group, which is sort of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know though that we like you see it in their dress and their weapons and stuff like that. There are like visual tells of that, but again, that group is so relatively new that we haven't explored them a ton. And I feel like, especially in like Western comics it's really easy to write about the Olympians.
Sure, yeah.
Everyone's got a passing knowledge of them, and it's really easy to look up. But if you want to like authentically write about Amazonian deities, I think the number of people that probably have that knowledge is very limited. Are they even comics writers? Where would you go to look that up if you didn't know it and you wanted to learn? Like, all of that stuff becomes, you know what I mean? Like, they become the obstacles that get in the way, especially on a deadline.
Yeah.
So I just don't think we've really explored it as much as we can. I think there'd be some cool stuff to check out, but for now, we haven't delved too deeply into it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Another culture I think that could work would be, I think, like the Japanese culture.
Yeah,
because I think it's already so rooted in magic as well. But then also you could do sort of like a geisha sort of thing, where like a group of like empowered women sort of like separate off. But like there's already so many like spirits that you could connect to. And
yeah, I mean, I think
like samurai culture could potentially be brought in there.
I think that's neat. I think Polynesia.
Sure.
Like a sort of seafaring Amazon.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
Yeah,
I think there's something interesting there.
Some like North American indigenous tribe sort of things I think would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
like Turtle Island stuff, it would be so cool to like, you could really use that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess another obvious one would be like some sort of Norse kind of thing. But
sure,
like,
that
we're
almost
just talking Valkyries at that point, essentially.
Yeah.
Like that sort of already exists. We've done that.
It's that Liam Sharp thing is almost even that. Like,
well, I mean, we only really see Wonder Woman in that one. But we do go into like Tir na Nog. Like we see some of the Celtic,
more of just
sort of myth and
stuff crossover that's
in that one,
sort of.
which is sort of interesting.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think that's interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Last question from Drago the Black Rose, who asks, "Who is your favorite between Yara, Cassie, and Donna Troy?"
So 3 Wonders girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Supers man.
I do like Yara Flor.
Yeah.
She's impulsive and like kind of like, you know, yeah, I guess I'm Wonder Girl, but also like I know what I'm doing. You know, like I think that's like the exact right energy, especially because Wonder Woman is like relatively hands off with sidekicks. Like Batman, we've talked about this on the Green Arrow thing, but like Batman is like, if you're going to be my sidekick, you're going to fucking train and I'm going to watch you like a hawk. And then Green Arrow is kind of like I guess you can be my sidekick. Here's a bunch of arrows. Shoot that guy. Like he's a little looser about it. And then Wonder Woman is like, oh, I have a sidekick.
Really?
Right.
That's
and then she goes, oh, yeah. But I think the way that they frame it, which is really good, is like, I trust you. Like, you're capable. I trust you. But if you ever need my help, call me.
Sure. It's more like a mentorship.
It's like yeah, totally. It's like it in a way feels more structured than how Green Arrow is, but it's way more hands off.
Sure. Yeah.
But so I do think
this is kind of the way that I manage, you know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I empower people to do the work.
Yeah, while I'm napping.
Yeah. Only from 2:00 until the end of the day.
Yeah, only for a third of the work day.
Yeah, it's fine.
I do like Yara Flor. I don't really like Cassie Sandsmark. And I don't know if that just like, if it's just because her era isn't when I was like into reading comics or like the stuff that I like. I never really got into Cassie Sandsmark. I don't get it. I don't really like her. I don't think she's that good or interesting.
Sure.
I've never missed her when she hasn't been around. I love Donna Troy.
Really
confusing.
Your name, say my name, it sounds so sweet.
Why are you saying Lips of an Angel?
Because you said you don't really think of her.
Oh, okay.
When she's not around.
Big stretch there. Woof. Woof.
Digging for Clan, sometimes it's a big
stretch.
stretch.
Any fucking laughter there.
That's okay.
You falling off, man. I do like Donna Troy. Her super confusing continuity notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Donna Troy is like, I mean, you know me. I'm a real like Silver Agey kind of guy. I like my Barry Allen. I like Hal. But I also like my original sidekicks a little bit. Like I like Donna Troy. I think she works as her own hero. She works great as a Titan. I love her relationship with like that generation of heroes.
Sure.
I like her relationship to Wonder Woman. I think it's got to be Donna Troy for me, which is maybe like a super basic answer, but
That's fine.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean,
Have you read anything with any of these Wonder Girls?
No. Wonders
Wonders Girl?
Yeah. No, I haven't. No,
Interesting.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe we will.
There you go, baby.
That was the last question. We'd love to hear from you residents for next week's episode.
Yep. And you'll see it when that call goes out.
You could just prepare.
No, I am prepared. I'm just prepared to release it at a different time.
Did you?
Yeah.
You prepared to do that?
Yeah. Listen, I don't have to reveal my methods here.
So you have it now.
I know what it is.
Okay.
And
Can
you'll
you
see
just-
what...
Can you mouth it to me? No?
I could.
But you could, just do it just so that I know.
No, you'll see.
It just feels like you maybe more prepared.
Well, you can feel that way, but I'm prepared.
Like the doc squad, you
I'm
know in
prepared.
advance
I've
that
always
these
been
are coming.
prepared. I'm the most prepared.
No one's ever been more prepared.
What's your favorite Bible quote? Oh, all of them.
Yeah. In the beginning,
Yeah.
and the rest.
And the rest.
Well, you can send those questions to our various social media platforms.
That's right. Dr. DC Podcast, wherever you find us.
Also, you can find us on Patreon.
Patreon.com/Dr. DC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. They all give you access to the Doc Squad, our awesome Discord fan community. And at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes, bonus series even. And it all helps to support us.
Speaking of us, you know what else has a really strong fan community? The TV show Supernatural. And we have a whole podcast about it.
Yeah, baby. Ghostfacers, a Supernatural rewatch. We're going through every single episode of the CW Supernatural.
Yep.
We are most of the way through season 9 of 15 at this point. We talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the show. It's a grand old time.
The grandest of old times.
Name a grander old time.
I
Make old times grand again.
Holy shit. That's it for this week.
Adios.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.